Hello and welcome to this episode of the Low Vision Kitchen. Today I will be preparing a light meal or snack which I really enjoy, and it's cheese on toast. And this is my version of cheese on toast. There are several different varieties you can choose, but this is how I make it myself. I have preheated the broiler and that is on high, so we want it very hot. And because I'm using a broiler rather than a grill, I have a baking sheet and I have some parchment paper. I've just folded a sheet of parchment paper over, and this will serve to protect the baking sheet from the cheese when we add the cheese to the toast later on. I don't know about you, but I do not enjoy spending my afternoons cleaning melted cheese off metal baking sheets. Now you can use any type of bread that you like, brown bread, different multigrain, things like that. I have some sourdough to make some sourdough toast, and also a sandwich roll from the supermarket. Just place the side that you want to be crispy upmost. So here I place the crust on the top with the cut side of the bread down. That will prevent the cut side drying out too much as we put the bread into the broiler for our first toasting. And we had the bread under the broiler for only about a minute, and so it's very hot. Now we take the bread from the baking sheet. It's nice and crispy on the outside. Now I personally like to use margarine as my base, but if you like, you can use a variety of mustards, whichever you prefer, and just lightly spread some margarine or butter on the untoasted side of the bread, and that will be your base. If you think of this rather like a pizza, you can even use tomato sauce on the bread as well. So you can make these into mini pizzas. So I lightly spread some butter onto each piece of toast, and what you want is just enough to moisten the bread as it finishes toasting, stops the bread drying out with all of the cheese. So we now have our bread buttered, and we are now ready to add our toppings. I'll place this back onto the parchment paper again while we prepare the topping. You can add a variety of toppings to your cheese on toast. My wife particularly likes a nice tomato on her cheese on toast. Or I've also had apple, which is very good. If you have a nice sweet apple, cut a few slivers of apple, place that under the cheese on top of the bread before you lay the cheese. And another favourite in England, you can make what is called a ploughman's lunch type cheese on toast sandwich. That would have a product called Branston pickle. Now that is a very sweet, vinegary, fruity pickle which you spread on the sandwich, on the bread, then you layer that with cheese, and that gives you a delicious ploughman's lunch. So I'll just take a knife and cut a few pieces of tomato for these sandwiches, and so we put some tomato on the sourdough, and I'll also add a little tomato to one of the pieces of bread. This we can wrap in some cling film and then place it back into the refrigerator, and it should be good for a day or two. Now, when you have placed your tomato onto the bread, I just give a little sprinkling of salt just to add some flavour. It doesn't need to be too much because the cheese will have some salt in it. And just for speed, I've already bought some ready grated cheese. This is a mixture of cheddar and jack cheese, but you can use your own favourite cheese. If you can, I particularly enjoy a cheese from England called Cheshire cheese, which is a very crumbly cheese and is delicious when toasted because it melts, and it also tends to slightly burn, which gives it a nice smoky, rich flavour. But if you like cheddar or any other cheese, then just use the cheese of your own choice. And then just liberally sprinkle the sandwich. This is where the parchment paper comes in handy, because we don't have to worry about spilling too much cheese on the parchment paper. We'll just throw that away after we've done our cooking. And so we place cheese on the toast, and this should be ready to go back under the broiler just until the cheese has melted and is nice and bubbly, and it will be really tasty. So we now take the toast back to the broiler for a few more minutes. So after about another minute, we now have our cheese on toast. Fresh from the oven. We have very careful as I just caught the edge of the pan with my finger and that burned. And the parchment paper has done its job. It has kept the pan clean, so all we need to do is just think about throwing away, washing the pan lightly. Our cheese on toast is nicely browned and the toast is nice and crispy, and I can promise you that will be really tasty. And if you want to just serve it with perhaps a light salad if you prefer, or you can just eat it plain like that for breakfast. Or if you prefer to have a traditional ploughman's lunch with this, then you can use a nice cool beer and enjoy your ploughman's lunch type cheese on toast. Until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching the Low Vision Kitchen, and if you have enjoyed this programme, please consider subscribing to my channel for more regular updates as we release new programmes. Thank you. Good night.